You see, we talk about the political jousting back and forth. Guess what? They do it in the front office too. So when everybody looks like they're safe, it's safe to say Andrew Berry and Kevin Stefanski make all the decisions together. Kevin Stefanski, Andrew Berry, they do everything together and we work in collaboration. It's all good to say Jimmy Haslam is all for what these guys are doing, right? Everybody's...
Well, when Kevin Stefanski says it that way, when he's emphasizing that he needs to be mindful of the players and the players' development, that indicates to me that maybe he does not think Shedeur is ready. If he is put in that number 2 slot, he's one hit away from going into a game, as you always say, CC. And maybe Kevin Stefanski has been observing him and thinks that he's not ready to be in that position and doesn't want to potentially put him in that position to fail. Because we know that the spotlight on Shedeur Sanders is greater than any other quarterback or any other player really in that locker room.
In the middle of a season, teams don't even make trades, period. Football teams very rarely make trades. Who does that back-to-back? Well, that's because one person was well unaware of what was going on. Kevin Stefanski didn't know they was trading Joe Flacco, but somebody took that chip off the table. Maybe y'all know about. If you catch what I'm putting down. You see, Kevin Stefanski and everybody was running out, and I pointed it out every time it would happen. When they put Dillon Gabriel out there and they said, okay, Joe Flacco. If Joe Flacco loses the job to Dillon Gabriel, we'll play Dillon Gabriel because he's magically already ready.
This is the exact moment everything flipped in Cleveland. The second the truth leaked out, the illusion shattered, and Kevin Stefanski saw it clear as day. The control he thought he had was never real to begin with. When the Browns moved Joe Flacco, that wasn't just business. It was a loud message sent straight to the head coach's doorstep. And the message couldn't be clearer. You're not the one calling the shots anymore. For months, fans were sold a clean story. One team, one vision, one voice. Andrew Berry and Kevin Stefanski were painted as the perfect duo, the smart young GM and the calm, calculated coach working side by side. Every move looked unified, every decision framed as mutual respect. That's the version they wanted everyone to believe. But behind closed doors, tension had been stacking for years. Quiet power struggles, silent disagreements, egos clashing without cameras around.
Either Kevin Stefanski thinks Shedeur Sanders is Magic City parking lot, straight ass, or he just don't like him. This is the perfect example of take all your confidence away from a player. He must got some pictures or some evidence on Jimmy Haslam. Like, I've never seen anything like this. I don't know who the backup is.
Bro. And the second Joe Flacco was traded, the mask dropped hard. You don't move your veteran quarterback mid-season unless something is seriously broken inside that building. This wasn't just any quarterback either. Flacco was the locker room leader, the steady voice, the mentor wearing the captain's patch with the full respect of the roster. And still, he was shipped out like an afterthought. That alone raised eyebrows. But what came next made it explosive. Kevin Stefanski didn't even know it was happening. Let that sink in. The head coach found out after the deal was done. The man in charge of game plans, locker room energy, and weekly prep was completely left out. That's not miscommunication. That's deliberate disrespect. When Andrew Berry and Jimmy Haslam signed off on that move, they weren't just trading a player. They were flexing authority. They were reminding everyone exactly who holds the real power in Cleveland. And that one decision sent shockwaves through the entire organization. For years, Cleveland tried to sell stability, tried to convince themselves the chaos was gone, but cracks kept showing. Bad offensive calls, blown leads, questionable quarterback moves. Each week added another warning sign. Then came the Dillon Gabriel decision. It looked bold at first, a future-focused gamble. But once it started falling apart, the plan was obvious. Go back to Flacco, the safety net.
Stefanski is now saying, over my dead body will Shedeur get a shot. This is all-time shameful on the part of Kevin Stefanski.
The veteran calm under pressure. Except that safety net was already gone, cut loose without warning. And just like that, the Browns were exposed. No backup plan, no unity, and no real alignment at the top. And let's be clear, this wasn't Kevin Stefanski's decision.
Flacco is now gone. Shedeur moved up a slot. He's second on the depth chart. This was Kevin Stefanski pretty much declaring public war on Shedeur.
This came from above him. The moment Jimmy Haslam stepped in and shut the door completely, saying under no circumstances is Joe Flacco coming back, everything shifted fast. That wasn't a football move. That was straight up politics. That was ownership grabbing the steering wheel and pushing the coach aside. That was the front office sending a loud message without saying a word. We don't trust you anymore. And you could see it all over Stefanski's face at that press conference. The blank stare, the hesitation, the shock that hit him in real time. He wasn't answering questions. He was realizing he'd just been played. That's when the danger really set in. Because if Joe Flacco lands somewhere else, maybe even inside the division, and starts winning games, who takes the heat? Not ownership, not the front office. It all falls on Stefanski. Suddenly,
I guarantee you Bailey Zappi is now, and they're not putting it up on the website. I guarantee he'll dress at Pittsburgh and he will be second in command at that position. This is Kevin Stefanski showing you once and for all, I didn't want to draft him. I don't like his attitude. And above all, he fears his father. He fears that if Shedeur ever gets a hold of the starting quarterback job in Cleveland, before you know it, Dion will replace Kevin Stefanski as the next head coach of the Cleveland Browns. If Shedeur's ever going to get a shot here, it's only because Jimmy Haslam steps in and puts his foot down.
He's the coach who couldn't make it work. And if Dillon Gabriel, the rookie Stefanski backed, doesn't pan out, that blame lands right back on his shoulders too. The same people who cut him out of the decision will be the first ones lining up to point fingers when the losses stack up. That's how this league moves. That's how Cleveland moves. This isn't about loyalty or long-term trust. This is survival mode. And right now, Kevin Stefanski is standing alone with no shield. The same front office that once said, "We believe in our coach," is quietly setting him up to take the fall. And they know it. They know fans are restless. They know the offense is sliding, and they know if the Browns drop a few more games, the easiest target is the man on the sideline. So they strip away his veteran safety net, hand him uncertainty, and wait. That's not strategy. That's sabotage. And the scariest part? It's already working. You can feel the panic creeping through Cleveland. The energy feels off. Players look unsure. The locker room feels split. Nobody knows who's really calling the shots anymore. The coach, the GM, or the owner. And that kind of confusion destroys teams fast. Kevin Stefanski used to be the steady one, the calm voice in the storm, the coach who never panicked, never showed cracks, never let emotions leak out. But lately, that calm looks forced. He looks like a man realizing his voice doesn't hit the same anymore.
In my role, I have to do what's best for our players, our team, and I'm very, very invested in our player development, our young players' development, our quarterback development. So any decision I make...
Like someone who just figured out the room isn't listening the way it used to. And once a head coach starts losing trust in the people above him, that energy spreads fast. Players feel it. Assistants feel it. The media smells it. And before you know it, that confident locker room turns into a group just trying to survive the week instead of chasing wins. That's where Cleveland is right now. And if you think this ends with a simple quarterback switch, think again. This is way bigger than that. This is a franchise-defining moment. Every move the Browns make now is under a spotlight. Every play call, every press conference, every loss. And the same question keeps popping up louder each week. Who's really in charge here? The fans see it too. Cleveland fans are loyal to the bone. They've stuck through chaos, heartbreak, and endless resets. But even loyalty has limits. They can feel the cracks forming. They sense the confusion. And once that loyalty turns into frustration, things unravel fast. Stefanski is now coaching with a clock ticking over his head. Every decision feels like it could be his last. Turn to Bailey Zappi and lose? That's it. Stick with Dillon Gabriel and the offense keeps sinking? Same result. No matter which door he opens, it leads to the same place. His seat getting hotter by the week. And that's what makes this situation ice cold. This isn't bad luck. This isn't coincidence. This feels planned. The front office isn't rushing to fire him. They're letting him walk himself out, letting the losses stack, letting the pressure build. And when it finally ends, they'll play it clean. They'll thank him. They'll praise his professionalism. They'll say it was just time for a new direction, but everyone watching knows the truth. This started the moment Joe Flacco was traded without warning. That was the spark. The quiet betrayal that exposed everything hiding under the surface. And now the Browns are sliding toward another offseason full of questions, another reset, another rebuild, another promise that next year will finally be different. We've seen this movie before. But this time, it's not just about losing games, it's about losing identity. Because when a head coach doesn't know what's happening inside his own locker room, that's not poor communication, that's chaos. And chaos was the one thing Cleveland swore it had escaped. They promised they were different, that the dysfunction was gone, that they weren't the league's punchline anymore. But look closer, a coach shut out of major decisions, a front office pulling power moves, an owner tugging strings behind the scenes. Same story, new names. And unless something changes fast, Kevin Stefanski might just become the latest casualty in Cleveland's never-ending cycle of self-sabotage. Because once trust is broken at the top, there's no fixing it. Once a coach gets blindsided like that, the locker room feels it immediately. And once the locker room feels it, the season is already slipping away. This was never just about a quarterback move. Joe Flacco's trade wasn't about stats or schemes. It was about control, ego, and power games being played behind closed doors. And if you think this story is done, think again. The cracks inside Cleveland's front office aren't healing. They're spreading. Every press conference feels heavier. Every loss hits harder. And the next move could be the one that sends this whole thing crashing down for real. So when you watch Kevin Stefanski pacing that sideline, understand what you're seeing. This isn't just a coach fighting for a win on Sunday. This is a man fighting to stay afloat, fighting to keep what little authority he has left. Because in Cleveland, it's never just football. It's power, it's pride, it's politics. And when you strip a coach of control, you don't just take away his job, you take away his voice. That's exactly what happened here. Kevin Stefanski didn't just lose Joe Flacco, he lost his influence, he lost his seat at the table. And in Cleveland, once that seat is gone, it never comes back. The decision's already been made, it just hasn't been announced yet. If you felt this shift too, drop your thoughts in the comments. Make sure to like the video, subscribe for more breakdowns like this, and share it with anyone who's watching the Browns closely. We'll see you on the next one.